Hello fellow modelers! In today's video, let's make a Ford small block engine. I am excited to share that there is a new website, Aladdinmodel, offering full printable interior models. The link is in the video description. If you have a 3D printer, you can create some amazing pieces. I have chosen to work on legendary 1967 Ford Mustang. While I am tackling the entire model, this video will separately focus on crafting the engine. Let's dive in. I have printed all the files using Lego Saturn 4, which boasts a generous printing volume, and I must say the printing quality is outstanding. I had hard time fitting the bolts, so I decided to cut them out, and then use a fine sandpaper to smooth the resin for perfect alignment. It's helpful to use a bit of water to minimize the resin dust. Flexible superglue is suitable for gluing resin parts. I am in the process of removing any leftover printing supports using a fine milling cutter. The air filter is nice. However, I think modifying it with a thin metal mesh would improve it even more. The superglue accelerator is sometimes essential. I'm applying a primer to the model, which highlights any imperfections, while effectively unifying the printed layers. The air filter and cylinder head should be in the silver chrome shade. I have tested many products, but the best one seems to be this technique. I'm spraying the parts with a lacquer gloss black paint. Next, mix a Revel chrome spray with a leveling thinner. Though you can use a chrome spray directly, applying it with an airbrush yields a much smoother finish. The 3D model has a flaw in the transmission and clutch, featuring a hole underneath. To address this issue, it's quite useful to fill the gap with an epoxy putty and styrene board. I like old Mustang engines, particularly because the engine blocks were painted in the beautiful shade of blue. While the manual transmission could be also blue, it was more commonly found in a silver shade. I prefer using Mistel color Silver 8, as it isn't shiny as a super metallic. It would be ideal if the exhaust part were available as a separate piece, that way the painting would be much simpler. I mix silver with a gloss black paint to achieve that dark cast iron look. I am painting the rest of the details with acrylic paints. If I thin the paint just properly, the finish comes out beautifully smooth. Attention to detail is essential, so I am ensuring that all the bolts and nuts are painted silver. The air filter mesh is soft, so the airbrush is better here. To highlight the details, I am applying dark wash to make them stand out more. I could make a nice and clean engine, but I decided to make it after some use. These Tamiya enamel paints are ideal for creating dust effect. They dry quickly, have a lovely matte finish, and you can easily adjust the result with an enamel thinner if needed. Keep in mind that the chrome paint isn't very resilient to weathering chemicals, so it's best to attach the parts after you have done your basic shading. The kit includes parts for spark plug wires, but I suggest just printing the connectors and making the wires separate from conductors for a better realism. One downside of resin models is the lack of water slide decals. However, if you have a basic vectorographic skills, you can design and print your own. I don't have access to printer that use white ink, so I opt to have a local printing service make one copy for me. I can overlook the oil filter. I made the decals for it also. The engine looks great, but let's add a bit of character. We could make the exhaust a little rusty and add some scratches to the engine block. These 3D printed models are impressive, allowing for large-scale creations filled with intricate details. It's more challenging than working with traditional plastic kits, since you have to invest extra time in cleaning, and dealing with resin isn't always a walk in the park. Yet, there is something magical about creating an entire kit just from liquid resin. Now that the engine is complete, I just need to tackle the remaining details around it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.